We are not too far off from the Edge of Fate reveal trailer. Okay, so before that comes out, we know a few things about this expansion. We know one, it has something to do with the Nine. We know two, it has something to do with going beyond our solar system to Kepler 15, whatever that is. You know, you can see it right up there in the corner. And we know that it has something to do with our Guardian possibly helping the Nine or fighting against the Nine or something about the Nine. Now, I have a running theory I've been thinking about for a while, and I'm going to run it by you guys, and feel free to agree, disagree, tell me in the comments what you think. Give the video a like, though, even if you disagree. That's highly appreciated. Show your friends, so on and so forth. You get it. I have a feeling that the Nine and the winnower aren't too far apart from each other. Now let's focus on something to start with. The Witness. It all started really with him. The Witness was going around grabbing disciples, trying to figure out a way to stop the Gardener from playing its version of the game. The Gardener and the Veil, the thing you get your darkness powers from and the thing you get your light powers from, aka the Traveler. They were once together in what you would call quote-unquote harmony. The Gardener would make things, the winnower would come in and destroy them. There was one way of the game, and I guess you could technically call it close to Hive sword logic, because it's exactly what it is. Until the Gardener got bored of the winnower always destroying what it created and decided it wanted to split off and create a brand new game. Now, if you go and look at what the Gardener has done, aka the Traveler, it has decided that if you are meant to survive, you will continue to survive because we will resurrect you, and eventually, if you become powerful enough, you will be able to destroy anything that comes in front of your face. The winnower is, if you're meant to survive, you will continue to survive and destroy those that are not meant to survive, and if you die, it's because you were meant to. The Traveler very obviously follows a different rule. If you die, we'll revive you and you'll come back stronger, but you'll forget all of your past. Versus the darkness is all inside of memory. We all know that, or at least should know that, and if you didn't, well, now you do. So because of that situation there, the Witness was the original species to first see the Traveler and be blessed by its light. Versus, and eventually because the Traveler didn't speak to him or tell him or give him a direction, they got angry and decided to try and control the Traveler instead, making it leave and then bringing its whole society into the Witness. Because of that, we thought there was a possibility that the Witness and the winnower were possibly the same thing. Couldn't have been more wrong, I guess. You know, we're not too far off, but in this very clip here, he makes it very, very, very clear they are not the same thing. They are both, just like you, created by gods. Here's the clip.
Fear the truth you claim to seek. Look beyond this dying garden, or rot in entropy. Each child we save from the game, you again, forced to play. You call us winnower. We are not. But the first knife clutched in its hand. Gods forged us both. But they cannot tell the knife what shape to carve.
If you've never seen that clip, well, welcome, you've seen it, and that kind of shows you everything that's been going on up to this point. As you can see, the Witness very specifically says him and the winnower are not the same. The winnower is the thing that created him, so on and so forth. So what is the winnower? Now, the Nine and the winnower have a few things in common, okay? The winnower thinks that the Witness was an idiot, thinks he was stupid, thinks that he was foolish for any idea he had of the game, that his version of it was going to absolutely destroy anything that he followed, because the Witness wanted a perfect stasis of keeping everything never moving again, versus the winnower wants everything to be able to continue to be destroyed if it deserves to be destroyed in his eyes, and or live if it deserves to live. Now that we got those two out of the way, let's dive into it. We all know that out of the Nine, there is a minority of the Nine that don't like the Guardian. Actually, some of them even thought that the Witness was kind of doing the right thing. And then there's a majority that like the Guardian and that thinks we should continue. So that's why every once in a while they will actually come in and aid us. But now we're faced with them in person, and they could possibly be our direct enemy, or parts of the Nine could be parts of our direct enemy. Now, let's be more specific here. There was only two beings that we know of that have actually dived into the deep quote unquote. One being the witness, which we don't know if they ever actually saw the winnower, but they spoke to him directly. And the other being Oryx, which we know for sure didn't speak to the witness, but spoke directly to the winnower when they created and carved the tablets of ruin. The difference between their speech pattern is immense. If you go look at the lore of what the Oryx recalls from what the winnower says and how the witness speaks to people, the language isn't even close to the same. But one thing they both agreed on, the Nine and the winnower, was that witness was a fool. The witness thinks that, or the winnower thinks that the witness is a fool, and the Nine, parts of them, think that the witness is a fool. But the parts that don't, where are they? How do we know for sure that they aren't actually the ones who were the winnower the whole time? We don't. Now, I have a long-standing theory that the whole time the people in the Nine that hate us are actually the winnower, who keep sending adversaries to destroy us to try and force whatever they want. Because now that we actually have the witness out of the way, they don't really have as much control over us as they once did, making it so we could kind of do whatever we wanted in whatever situation they wanted. And we all know that the Nine, well, maybe we all don't know this, the Nine are kind of trapped in the area they are in, and they've been trying to figure out a way to escape and or become more than what they currently are. And you know, we had Trials of the Nine for a while, and we only really have one picture of the Nine, and if you really look at them, they kind of seem like it's a situation with the witness. Weird, right? Now let's continue on with this theory. The witness and the Nine have similar features in where it seems like it's multiple people in one body. Okay, with the witness we can confirm that. With the Nine, I'm doing a little guesswork there, but whenever you played Trials of the Nine, you only saw one person ever. You didn't see more than one person, so I could be incorrect about this. Do not quote me on this saying I was right unless I am. Then, you know, I knew this the whole time and you all just weren't ahead of, you know, the times. But the witness, okay, was actually talking to the adversaries of the Nine that didn't like us, and that's what convinced him to go forward and do whatever he did. Except the witness decided to stray off and try and make everything into a consistent stasis, which is not what the winnower wanted, aka those people in the Nine who were trying to forge their own future to power. Because in every other reality, if you've ever read anything to do with I believe it's Elsie Bray, it's the Exo Stranger, she was going from reality to reality to reality, in where we were absolutely destroyed and succumbed to the darkness, versus our reality is, from my knowledge, the first one where we didn't succumb to darkness and we actually surpassed, saved the traveler, destroyed the witness, and our future is now saved. But she didn't know anything after that, because all the rest of them, everything was dark and the sun was blacked out and destroyed. The winnower and the Nine, who do we think was down there speaking to Oryx, trying to figure out and tell him what to do, to stray away from the light, to stray away from the possibility of them gaining power and not being able to control them? Because guess what? Before Oryx was able to destroy his worm god, he would actually have to go and follow whatever the worm god said, or else it would eat it alive. That's why Savathun had us take its worm out, and that's why Xivu Arath will probably eventually die to its worm god as well, unless she destroyed it, and I don't remember she did that, but I don't think she did. That's how the hive works. You have to continuously do whatever it is that your worm's specialty is, or else it will destroy you, unless you destroy it, taking its power from it, aka the taken power that Oryx has. Okay, now if we look deeper, look at what the Nine are here, okay? I want you to see an image of the Nine. Look at what they look like, and then look at the taken power. Tell me that the taken power doesn't look like a slightly corrupted version of what's going on in the spatial magic sphere of the Nine. Weird. Think it's coincidence? I don't think so, because I think that this whole time, parts of the Nine have been the winnower. Yeah, I know that might be a stretch, might sound a little crazy, but who else is going to be powerful enough to come after we destroyed the Taken King, right after we destroyed the Witness, and take over Oryx's mantle? We don't know what the power is, we don't know who it is, we just know someone is speaking to the Taken at this moment in time. And there are parts of the Nine that hate us, and there are part of the Nine who at least deal with us and generally think we're okay. Now, I think those parts of the Nine that hate us have possibly come forth taken the power of the Oryx, the Taken King, and because they already knew the power and possibly already gave Oryx the power when he was creating the Tablets of Ruin, which, yes, if you haven't gotten it yet, I'm saying part of the 9 is one with the winnower. They're the same thing, part of it, not the whole thing. Then I think that that would explain why we couldn't figure out exactly who, where, or what it is. I mean, we did destroy the Echo of Oryx. We knew that it wasn't controlling it. We also destroyed that guy with the stasis. I always forget their names. We are now going into a situation where we're leaving our galaxy, going into another one to face the 9 direct. Now, explain to me, why would we do that unless they have become a super extreme threat to us to the point to where we needed to go and face them ourselves? I mean, it's a possibility that they could just be calling us forth, you know, saying, hey, we need help here. I don't believe that. I believe that part of them will be coming and saying, hey, we need your help, and the other part will be exactly who and what we are fighting, because they were the ones who have taken over the throne of the Taken King. They were the original winnower who gave the powers of the darkness to the Witness and the Taken King, because last time I checked, how the 9 were created was literally in the void of space where nothing existed, nothing was, okay? And now we're in a situation in where the 9 are battling it out internally, but the majority group of the 9 needs help because the minority group of the 9 now has a lot of power than the majority knows what to do with. Now, at the end of the day, I believe that it's a possibility that we could actually end up receiving taking powers ourselves from the 9 themselves. So we wouldn't actually become corrupted by the taken power. We would just be able to have full control of the taken power, making it the last ability in our subclass list. And I know that's a stretch, but it would only make sense if we're getting powers from the 9, and they were the original ones to give the Taken King its powers and also help the Witness form into what it was. It only makes sense that it would hand us those powers to be able to fight what we see in front of us. Would that mean we're immune to Taken energy? Probably not. I mean, it'd be dope if we were. But we'd also understand, because if you look at this whole season, it's about figuring out ways to control Taken energy. It would make sense on why the episode of Heresy was showing us how to take Taken energy, use it with our own abilities, and then go forth and destroy other objects and things with that. This is all just, you know, thoughts that I've had boiling for a while. If you agree, go ahead and let me know. If you don't agree, go ahead and let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, all that good stuff. This is, like I said, just a theory. I'm not going to sit here and say it's true. I have no idea. But in my mind for a while now, and it's been ever since we found out the Witness wasn't the winnower, I was like, there's only a few other strong beings that we know of, and one of them is the 9, one of them was the Hive. And the Hive, we crushed the throne world of Zivua Rex. Savathun doesn't follow the path of darkness anymore. The 9 hasn't spoken to us in a long time, but we know for a fact some of the 9 do not like us and would do anything to keep us from going on. And that is the simple fact of the matter. Now, of course, we'll find out more on May 6th when the trailer releases, and I'm hoping it's amazing. I guess we'll have to see and wait, guys. Thanks for watching. Like I said again, let me know, like, subscribe, take care.